Isn't it?
And we are live, Mr. Chair. Go ahead, please.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Any declarations of conflicts of interest?
See none. No.
Okay. Can we get the approval of the agenda, please?
I'll move it.
Moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so the only discussion item on the agenda for tonight is the Simmons update. And Nancy or Peter or Tina, who's going to lead the charge on this?
So I'll just bring this forward, Mr. Chair. This is coming from Recreation. They have an offer from DP Murphy for the naming rights, or offering for the naming rights of the new sports center facility that will replace the Simmons Sports Center. The deal that they are proposing is that they have exclusive identity for the facility to be completed as a DP Murphy Wellness Center. Number two is that the payment is $250,000 payable over 5 years at $50,000 per year. The term of the agreement is for 15 years, and then after the expiry of 15 years, they would have first right of refusal to renew a further term, and that would be done prior to the expiration of the agreement. If the committee agrees, it would be forwarded to council for their consideration, and if council agrees, we would enter into a formal legal agreement.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Ramsey, go ahead.
Yes, Peter, sitting on Parks and Recreation, I thought it was a 15-year deal, so there's 5-year.
It is 15.
Five?
No, it is, you are correct, Councillor, it is 15 years, but the payment of $250,000 would be made over the first 5 years, so it would be upfront at $50,000 a year for 4 or 5 years for a total of $250,000.
Okay, thank you. So then after the 5 years, they look at another payment, correct?
No, that is front loaded for the 15 years over that 5 years, and then there will be no other payment due unless they decide to extend to take up the option to keep the name in place, and then that negotiation would happen at that time.
And just to follow up, Mr. Chair, so it works out to approximately close to $18,000 a year for 15 years.
It'd be, I think, 16, 17, I believe, Council, but you're not far apart from that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I didn't have the correct figures. I think you're right.
15. It's $16,668.67, Councillor.
Right on. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ramsey. Councillor Duffy, any questions?
No, I'm fine. I thought I heard Mr. Kelly say at the first $60,000 a year, but no, I heard it wrong. It was $50,000, so I have no questions whatsoever.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I do have a question for you. While it's great that we have an organization step up and want to do this, I guess my question is really around: did we issue any type of call for, I don't want to say tenders, but call for submissions of those organizations that may be interested in the naming rights of the facility, or is this just somebody that approached us?
Right. So from what I understand, Mr. Chair, is that this was an unsolicited offer from DP. It went to the committee after a bit of discussion up front as to what this would look like, and the committee is recommending that it be accepted. Again, if council agrees as well, then it would go forward. If not, then we would look at other options that council may wish us to explore.
So Peter, was there any discussion during the meeting? Because of course, I'm not part of Park and Rec. Was there any discussion during that meeting with regards to, allowing other companies that may have an interest that maybe didn't know there was an opportunity to do so, to place a bid or provide some information to the city? I would just hate for somebody to feel, or some companies that may want to be, have the same opportunity, be slighted. That's all.
Yep. And so, if you recall, Mr. Chair, there has been a request of staff recreation to prepare naming rights processes, and that is underway, and for fields, but also for buildings and or streets and others as well. So that's through the comms, I believe, is also under review, but at this stage there is no completed process in place, and so as this offer came in unsolicited, it is here for the committee's consideration and recommendation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm, like I said, as chair, I mean, I'm going to leave it up to Councillor Ramsey and Councillor Duffy, who are the councillors here, to make a recommendation. I just want to kind of throw it out there.
No,
Again,
valid point.
I applaud DP Murphy and the group for stepping up, but I just don't want this to come back on us to say, you know, was there an opportunity for other organizations to be able to step forward? Maybe they didn't know, and that's all.
Valid point, Mr. Chair.
And that's a good point, Mr. Chair, because at Parks and Recreation, I believe the company approached us, and it was just brought forward to us, which I didn't think anything much of it at the time, because I didn't know if we were looking for a name in sight or anything like that, but I thought it was a great deal at the time, and I'm like you too, like I'm in favor of it, but at the same time you're going to get feedback, pushback I should say, sorry.
And,
Thank you.
and so the other piece is, as I understand, the rink and the pool would retain the name of Simmons as part of this process as well.
Right. That's how I
Okay.
understood it too, Mr. Chair.
I don't think at the time that, Mr. Chair, I don't think at the time that they changed the Sherwood Sportsplex to the Cody Banks, I don't think they advertised that building at that time either.
No, they didn't.
And again, I'm just asking the question. I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about the process and putting something in place for naming rights for buildings, and like as the CAO just mentioned. And you know, I just want to know that the fact that we are, you know, in the process of putting something together, you know, would it be prudent to, you know, in good faith, you know, maybe follow the rules, or that we were kind of researching and wanting to do, or just go ahead? I mean, again, this was just bringing it up as a question that I know that we're going to get, reading the crystal ball. That's all. So anyways,
I mean, they're all good comments, Mr. Chair.
all right. So Councillor Ramsey, Councillor Duffy, you're the two
Yeah.
on the committee. If you guys, if one of you guys want to make a recommendation.
Yep, I'll recommend it. It's my ward.
And I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. I guess there's no sense putting it to a vote because the only two both approve. So all right, motion carried.
So it is just for the record, Mr. Chair. It is a 2-0 vote.
Correct.
And that's to move on to council. Am I correct, Mr. Kelly?
That's correct.
So
Is
Peter,
Elena
what
not
we
in
do?
here?
What's that?
Oh, where's Councillor Yankoff? Is she not in?
No, this is just committee of count. This is just finance.
This is
committee.
finance.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I apologize for that, yes.
No problem.
So Peter, if we don't mind, when we go to council at 5 o'clock, maybe you might want to touch on just what I kind of alluded to, unless you want me to ask the same question, but
And I think to be fair to you and to council, that as the chair here, to bring that forward, or I can ask Frank to try to get into the reason rationale for where we're at.
yeah, I just think it's good to know. Like I said, I'm not opposed at all. I'm just kind of trying to clarify process, if you will, and fairness.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, that's a good point.
Okay, I guess that's it on the agenda for now. So, anything else to add, Mr. Kelly?
No,
Tina, anybody?
not at this time. And again, this was the only issue that was on at this time.
All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn? And we'll see you guys at 5 o'clock. Okay,
Right on.
moved and seconded. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.